But it's not clear when that might happen because Kaczynski has filed yet another motion with the court. Sam, back to you.
All right, Anna, that was a very interesting report, both of them, both nights. Thank you very much. Two of the three people killed by the Unabomber were actually killed in Sacramento. What is now an internet and gaming store was, in December of 1985, a computer store in the Arden area on Howe. The owner, Hugh Scruton, found a package in the parking lot. The bomb blew up, sending nail fragments into his heart. It was Kaczynski's first fatal attack. Then, 10 years later, April 1995, another bomb. This one killed Gil Murray, a timber lobbyist on 13th and I Streets in downtown Sacramento. That space is now used for Aging Services of California. You can see photographs of the evidence found in the Unabomber's cabin. Just log on to our website, CBS13.com, and you can get a closer look at the Unabomber's coded notebook, see the clothes he wore, even get a glimpse of the cabin itself.
Still ahead, trapped in the jaws of an alligator, how a team of 4 men risked this swamp rescue.
It may sound silly, but what's in this bottle could be the difference between life and death for troops in Iraq.
It's the Christmas present that's changing the face of holiday giving.
It really looks good. It's straight. It fits your face, right?
I love it. Plastic surgery from Santa? The story straight ahead.
Call this customer service holding our viewers' check hostage.
Check's right here, my age, see it?
Your face is going to be plastered all over television if you're not going to give this away to your check. Okay. You're okay with that?
We'll see who's laughing now.
Call Curtis a bit later on tonight, right here at 10.
Last year, but yeah, it's not for everybody, but more and more people are considering plastic surgery and even putting it on their Christmas list. And of course, there are those trying to take advantage of those requests. For instance, some plastic surgeons now offering gift certificates.
It really looks good. It's straight. It fits your face, right?
I love it.
Roya Porvacal is still smiling from the Christmas present she had always wanted, a new nose.
Even though, you know, a whole lot of folks don't know that I have it done, but it just makes me feel good. Every day that I look in the mirror and I don't see the bump, it just feels good.
These are pictures of Roya before her surgery. Her husband paid for it as a Christmas present. Her doctor, Sharia Maborak, now provides these gift certificates to customers who would like to give their loved ones a cosmetic makeover for Christmas. He says this has become his busiest time of year.
Comes holiday times, everyone wants to get things done by the holidays. They want it done either before or right after. The reasoning for it, they want to look good for the holidays, or they have a lot of time to take off.
Roya says she and her husband had talked about getting a nose job for years before he unveiled his present to her. Dr. Maborak says this is the type of present you don't want to be a surprise.
You better be careful. I think this is something you should talk about. The ones that we've seen have never been surprises. It's something they have talked about, they know, and they say, you know what, you've always wanted this. Let's do it.
Yeah, can you imagine that being a surprise? You might not get a very nice reaction. Meantime, Dr. Maborak says he suggests a gift certificate for a consultation. Some procedures can run up to $10,000.
Wow.
All right, Steve. Thank you.
That's a new one.
Sure it's on the list, though.
Thank you, honey, for the liposuction card.
Now you're going to need a nose job.
Exactly.
Talk about a bomb of a gift.
Oh, no
I mean,
kidding.
that thing could go south on you in a hurry.
Oh, you know what? I want to go south.
Oh, I would too right now. It's freezing.
It is freezing. We got that freeze warning out there. Temperatures are going to bottom out most likely into the upper 20s to low 30s here in the Central Valley, even colder in the high country. The good thing, though, is we have less wind right now. As you can see, we have temperatures in the mid and upper 30s right now. The winds currently around the area, for the most part, are not that strong as they were in the early morning hours. So we've got northwest winds at 3 for Sacramento, northeast at 6 for Blue Canyon. So your wind chills out there aren't like they were this morning when they were down in the teens. They're about right at the temperature of where we are as we go through the 10 o'clock show. Just a bit cooler, 33 for Blue Canyon, 24 up toward Reno. So the wind chill is down in spots, but not like it was this morning. And with less wind, that means, yeah, we've got the freezing situation. So that's why we have a freeze warning for the areas of blue here. And again, it's from 2 a.m. tomorrow morning to 9 a.m. tomorrow. We're going to have a prolonged period, several hours with temperatures at or below freezing for the areas you see there in blue. Now, with the cool air this morning and breezes, we still ended up with some decent temperatures this afternoon. Averages at this time of the year should be the upper 50s to near 60. We topped out at 55 in Sacramento, 55 for Stockton, and 54 for Modesto, with morning lows, as you see them there, in the mid to upper 30s. Most likely tomorrow morning, we'll see morning lows, as we said, in the upper 20s and low 30s. And the reason for that, we don't quite have the wind that we had this morning. Even though the wind chills were a lot colder, down into the teens and 20s this morning, the reason the winds actually made it feel colder is obviously the wind chill effect, but it also didn't allow the actual temperature to drop. Well, the reverse is going to happen. We'll have morning lows down in the upper 20s and low 30s, and it will feel actually a little warmer, although we'll have a chance for some decent frost out there, and again, that whole freezing situation. Some of this cloud cover here may help to warm things up as we get into, say, early Friday morning. I'll have more on that in just a little bit with the 7-day forecast, but there's your big chill. 30s over toward the coast, 20s to near 30 here in the Central Valley, teens and even single digits and below zero all the way up into the Sierra. So the forecast overnight here locally, we'll go with mostly clear and mostly cold temperatures between about 25 and 30 degrees. And as far as tomorrow, we're going to go with mostly sunny conditions and temperatures close to the seasonal range. Averages at this time of the year should be in the neighborhood of the upper 50s, and I think we'll top out at the most in the upper 50s, but uniformly in the 50s across the board with light winds. So it's the light winds tonight that's going to make us want to, as we said, head south for the winter. We'll have your full forecast here in just a bit with the 7-day outlook in just a little while. Back to you guys at the set with Mr. Manning.
See you soon, Dave. She is the queen of daytime talk, but do not answer her email.
We call on Curtis Main with why a message from Oprah should be, actually should throw up a red flag for you.
Yeah, it would normally be a thrill for anybody to get an email from Oprah, but people are getting these invitations from her to attend a show taping.
2, 3.
But if you fall for it, I guarantee you won't be cheering like these people. Oprah's supposedly offering travel packages for fans. If you're interested, yeah, just send your bank information or wire some money and you're in. Great deal, huh? It's a scam. Don't do it. Yes, that means you must accept the email is not really from Oprah. Can't get enough of that video. Here's what's coming up in our next half hour.
Check's right here in my hand. See it? It's in my hand.
I have never seen unprofessionalism like this.
Any publicity is good publicity.
A cell phone company clerk plays keep away with a check they owe a customer.
You know what? We're going to roll this video camera the entire time, and your face is going to be plastered all over television if you're not going to give this lady her check.
Okay.
You're okay with that? He's okay with that. We'll see about that a bit later on tonight, right here only on the CBS 13 News at 10.
She promised babies to those who couldn't have them. Instead, prosecutors say she took their money. Tonight, a CBS 13 investigation reveals how she is doing it again.
The city of Roseville swears in a new mayor tonight.
It's kind of sad that I'll only get to serve as mayor for 5 weeks.
5 weeks? Why so short? I'll tell you a little later on.
If your food goes bad before you have a chance to eat it, you're basically throwing your money away. We have tips on how to keep your lettuce from wilting, even keep mold off your cheese.
After 6 long years and one ugly incident with a fire extinguisher, Richard Simmons returns to The Late Show. Catch it tonight.
I don't know how his wife puts up with it, frankly.
Pop quiz.
Consider the holiday spirit spoiled for 2 families in Citrus Heights.
A garden Grinch is stealing decorations and lights out of neighbors' yards, and Bridget Canada shows us how the neighborhood is reacting.
Hours of Christmas work has been stripped away, and one woman's festive spirit is dwindling.
It's wrong. It really is wrong.
Mai Chavez and her family spent much of Saturday decorating their lawn with lights, but when they woke up the next morning, the lights were gone. All that's left are the stakes they were attached to.
All the way down, all around our yard.
And Chavez is not the only victim. She says a neighbor had his inflatable stolen around the same time.
I just can't believe this time.
The recent robberies, though, are not killing their holiday spirit.
No, there are people that are still putting up their lights and other decorations all around that neighborhood, and good for you. She was sent to jail after promising to deliver babies to childless couples only to take their money. How we discovered how she's doing it again.
Troops in Iraq are requesting silly string and care packages, but it's not for fun and games. This could actually save their lives.
Call this customer service holding our viewers' check hostage.
Check's right here in my hand. See it?
Your face is going to be plastered all over television if you're not going to give this lady her check. Okay. You're okay with that?
We'll see who's laughing now.
Call Curtis a bit later on tonight, right here at 10. After 6 long years and one ugly incident with a fire extinguisher, Richard Simmons returns to The Late Show. Catch it tonight.
I don't know how his wife puts up with him, frankly.
This program is brought to you by BMW.
It is not something you would expect our armed troops in Iraq would need. Silly string.
But they have good reason. Dennis Shanahan is in the newsroom to explain this is not something they're going to play with. Dennis, this is something that could potentially save lives.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the time of year that a lot of people are putting care packages together for troops, and who would have thought that this could be a life-saving device?
It's like so cute. I couldn't resist it.
Deborah Johns of Roseville is putting together care packages for her son William's Marine unit serving in Iraq. She's sending holiday cheer and a taste of home where it's desperately needed.
There's some guys over there, you know, who don't even get cards or letters, and to get something special from home really means a lot to them.
Earlier this week, in a care package for her son, Deborah included something unusual William specifically asked for. Silly string is quickly becoming a common request from troops overseas. The subject even made the pages of Time magazine. So why do they want it?
Because it's so lightweight and it helps detect wires when they're going through a doorway without setting off the explosive ordnance.
You can see how the string gets hung up on wires that would otherwise be invisible to the naked eye, wires that could be connected to a bomb. And this is not something the military provides.
We as parents back home are going to do whatever they ask us to do in order to save their lives and make sure that they're protected. We'll send whatever it is they request.
And who would have thought silly string would be one of those?
Who would have guessed it?
And if you want to know how far this can shoot, well, it shoots about 10 feet away, so that gives a soldier somewhat, or Marine, somewhat of a cushion as they spray toward those possibly invisible wires.
Fascinating.
And wouldn't it be nice for the Silly String Company to donate that?
Yeah,
Thank you, Dennis.
Maybe, yeah, this is getting national publicity, so maybe now.
Okay, good. Good report. Thanks, Dennis. In a surprising move, Iraqi's prime minister was a no-show for a meeting with President Bush.
At the world and national desk, Brandy Hitt has the latest on this very touchy situation.
Pals and Sam, the White House even admits it was surprised President Bush traveled all the way to Jordan to meet Nouri al-Maliki, only to have the prime minister call off today's meeting at the last minute. The White House says the cancellation, though, has nothing to do with the confidential memo that was leaked to the New York Times criticizing al-Maliki for not being capable of handling the country and the ongoing violence. Both leaders will still meet tomorrow. Now, also tonight, a bipartisan Iraqi study group has finalized its recommendations to be released next week, and the New York Times does report that they do include gradual troop withdrawals.
And here at home, it is not politics as usual in the city of Roseville tonight.
No, they swore in a new mayor today, but he won't be mayor for long. Tony Lopez is live outside City Hall in a city where they're going to soon be looking for a mayor again. Tony?
Yeah, you know, it's not a slam for me to walk in Roseville tonight and tell you the new mayor of Roseville, he's not going to last long in office. Because it's true. He's off to bigger and better things. And tonight the city of Roseville is very proud of him, but they're also a bit puzzled as to what to do next. As you said, soon this will be a city without a mayor.
I take this obligation freely.
A guy named Rocky has been in more than a few political fights in his day. Tonight, it's unanimous. As the mayor pro tem already on the council, city charter says he becomes the new Roseville mayor. But he'll have to give up his title. How soon?
It's kind of sad that I'll only get to serve as mayor for 5 weeks.
You heard right, 5 short weeks for Rocky. See, he's moving up in political weight class. Soon he'll be Placer County Board of Supervisor Rocky Rockholm.
It's bittersweet, but I'll still get to work with all these great folks.
But which one of these great folks will challenge to become the new mayor of this growing city? The gloves aren't off. Heck, they were never even on, because this is no fight. They will choose the next mayor in one of 2 ways. Hold a special election, not likely too costly, or the 4 council members will go through a friendly selection process. They don't need a 5th wheel, but they will need a 5th vote.
I believe it will probably be that we will select amongst ourselves. And then, of course, we have to then fill Rocky's seat on the council.
And to do that, get this, they'll be taking applications.
Anybody can apply once I vacate, which I'm going to be sworn in January 8th at sometime afternoon. So then they can open it up for applications to take my place, and then 4 of them will have to work it out who's going to be mayor.
The front runner, the outgoing mayor. And who said politics isn't complicated?
Now, the city of Roseville won't go without a mayor for very long. Once Rocky leaves the ring and the bell will sound, a new fighter will enter the arena of politics and lead this city. I'm out of boxing puns, so that's the end of my story. Back to you in the corner, Palace.
Well told, Tony. Thank you. Well, hello, new mayor. Bye-bye, huge bottleneck. Additional lanes will now be put in each direction on I-80 from the Sacramento County line to Highway 65, which should relieve some traffic in the Roseville area. The county still needs to secure $135 million to complete the entire proposed project. And a grand jury has now indicted the former nanny accused of shaking a Roseville baby to death. Veronica Martinez Salcedo allegedly shook 19-month-old Hannah Rose Juseum to death back in May. The baby's family hopes Salcedo will plead guilty to avoid a trial, but Salcedo says she is innocent.
Her name is Nanette Delp. She promised to bring babies to couples who couldn't have them. But she's been charged with taking their money and leaving the couples empty-handed. And tonight, a CBS13 investigation uncovers how Delp, who was sent to jail, is back at it, running the same old scam. And how Sacramento prosecutors tell us they cannot do anything about it.
She promised children, but Nanette Delp, owner of a Sacramento surrogate parenting agency, is charged with taking their money and leaving them empty-handed.
Is Nanette Delp your true name?
Yes, it is.
Last month, Delp went to jail, charged with 19 counts of grand theft for stealing tens of thousands of dollars from prospective parents. CBS 13 has now learned before Delp turned herself into police, she started a new company, once again promising children, once again taking money and leaving hopeful parents-to-be empty-handed. And this time, Delp may be doing it all from behind bars. We first told you about Nanette Delp in October. She told this French documentary director that for $40,000, she would match up prospective parents with a surrogate. Business was booming. Delp ran an agency called Access to Surrogate Assisted Parenting, or ASAP.
It is a big market. Their site was great. It just said everything you wanted to hear.
Desiree and Eddie Reed told us Nanette Delp promised them a surrogate. They paid $7,000 up front. But when the Reeds questioned Delp's background, they say she cut off all communication and took off with their money.
Your whole dream, all of a sudden you just see shattering right in front of you. It's someone's going to steal our money. I mean, we're not getting a baby. We're not going to have a baby. I mean, these people are thieves.
Since then, more and more people have come forward, both parents and surrogates.
To imagine that there are people out there that want to have a child that can't for whatever reason, I just wanted to be able to give that gift to someone.
Like Nicole Jackson. She was a surrogate for ASAP. Her intended parents were from Australia. Nicole was supposed to get $18,000 from Delp to carry their baby and pay for pregnancy expenses and insurance. Delp would get the remaining $22,000. But Nicole says once Delp got the money, her business, ASAP, filed for bankruptcy.
I was just so worried about what was going to happen, who was going to pay for the medical bills, whether or not these people were even going to be able to afford to even come to the country. I mean, they lost they lost like $40,000. That's the first ultrasound we had.
Nicole was 6 weeks pregnant with no insurance and no money for her medical bills. Ultimately, Nicole Jackson and her prospective parents paid for and worked out the surrogacy on their own. The child, Noah, was born June 21st of this year.
Ms. Delp, you are charged.
4 months later, Nanette Delp was charged with 19 felony counts of grand theft.
But Nanette Delp wasn't done. She filed for bankruptcy, but not before starting a new company, doing the same old scam. Its name, Alternatives to Parenting.
Nowhere on the company's website does it show who owns it or even references Nanette Delp's name. The company's address is a UPS store on Calvine Road in Sacramento. Yet business filings obtained by CBS 13 show Nanette Delp as the only registered name for the company. It didn't take long for Delp and her new company to reel in another couple with the dream of having a baby of their own.
A bad agency works exactly the same way as a good agency up to the point of getting pregnant. Then the bad agency stops paying the bills.
This Bay Area couple who wish to remain anonymous say they paid Delp's new company, Alternatives to Parenting, $40,000 for nothing.
Went on the internet and put our feelers out, and 2 agencies responded, and one was Alternatives to Parenting.
They say they never dealt directly with Delp, but their checks cashed by the company were endorsed by her.
She said that she wasn't going to let us talk to the surrogate or send us the contract if we didn't pay the whole in full.
We took our findings to the Sacramento County District Attorney's Office. We told them how this new company continues to operate, how it's even accused of taking money from infertile couples, in essence, doing the same thing that put Nanette Delp behind bars. The DA says with no charges filed against Delp's new company, their hands are tied. So for now, Nanette Delp and her new company, Alternatives to Parenting, are free to do business, while parents left childless and surrogates left pregnant wait.
I was just so